lot of tackles. Big defensive effort from them today as they tried to stem this tide of the Japanese attacks. So back live now with the second half action just about to get underway through the boot of Kosei Ono. It's 29 points to 0 to Japan over Hong Kong as we start the second half. Ball goes down to Pale Taute, who really looks up for it today. Good to see him back in top form. Good ball carry there from Taute Robertson. And Ron Varty up, I think, from the left wing position. And Robertson puts his boot to this one, and that's gone straight up and down. All his forwards offside as well, not getting back. Mark Wright, who's been leading the defensive effort for Hong Kong, making 70-odd tackles against 20 in the first half, Hong Kong. Lee Jones again. This is what they need, Hong Kong. They need a couple of guys to step up and really lift the ball carrying area of the game. They don't get many chances. And there's Robertson, who goes underneath the Japanese defence. He's used to that, being 168 centimetres, and Robertson goes down now. Is it his shoulder? Seen a replacement in tight head prop. Jack Bennett, the Welshman, comes on for the Irish Steve Nolan. You see Robertson there, he's scurried underneath the defence. And this would be disappointing for Robertson. He's struggling with a shoulder injury, and now looks like the knee might be gone. There's a little bit of doubt whether he's going to start this game, Keith Robertson. He's so important to the Hong Kong effort. See there, he got up and went again. And Hitoshi Ono tackling him well. It just seemed to bang his knees together, and perhaps there a little bit of damage done. Disappointing up and under just moments ago from Keith Robertson, but looking on the bright side, good tidying up from Mark Wright, and Lee Jones running forward with intensity. You see the water boy today is Ali McClay, who scored 3 tries against UAE earlier in the Asian Five Nations. Outside the 22 today to give Ant Haynes his first Asian Five Nations game. So this is not looking good, and I'm sure we'll see Mike Glancy warming up on the sideline. The man who made his debut for Hong Kong 2 weeks ago against Korea. See there, the Hong Kong guys you can see them they'll be talking about pride and keeping up this work rate. Strange last year, they only lost 45 points to 22. At halftime it was 31-3 to Japan. It looked like they were going to walk away with a big margin, and then Hong Kong came back into that game. She's scoring more points than Japan in the second half as Robertson bravely gets on and goes on. He's already in the world of pain management with his dodgy shoulder, so taking a little bit more burden on. For a player of his size, he really is an incredible performer, and in fact he's going to go off. I think he's got a message from the trainer to say, no, if you're not right, let's go off. He's only 75 kilos, and he is the prototype for Asian rugby. So skillful, fast, and uses his brain so well. So that'll be the end of Keith Robertson's day, though. And the start for Mike Glancy, the ex-Ireland under-21 player. Played in the under-21 team with players like Heaslip, Tommy Bowe, Thomas O'Leary. Some good company there from Ireland, and they're moving up to Hong Kong to take up a job in property. As we look at Hawassa put this ball into the scrum. Leach nicely out. Good move to double run from Hawassa. Oramo, who's got the ball. Rose in support. Hewson again at that time, doing so well. big strong unit Hewson. Mochizuki for the first time gets smashed back in the tackle. Good to see from Hong Kong. They're really up for the second half. Can they keep it up though? Because Japan will just keep coming at you, wave after wave. As Senma goes in. Again, it's Makabe. Big ball carriers asking questions of you, time after time. Oh no, with an inside ball to Rugby. Good work from the captain. 6 metres out now. Kawasa again quickly. Oh no, it's Leach who steps inside, but again gets bailed out well. Brave defence here from Hong Kong. Ridgway gets in the way. Onozawa though, he's through! And he's fourth by himself in Test Rugby. Rory Underwood, you're back one position. Hiroki Onozawa goes to fourth with 51 tries and takes a knee in the ribs at the same time. Eddie Jones looks a bit concerned there. He'll be talking substitutes now, I'm sure, too, giving everyone a go. Oh, he's so elusive. Nasty there, though, from Ross Armour, who came over, just overran his attempt to get Onozawa. You'll see here, he was probably... that wasn't very nice at all from Ross Armour. Thought he might have just... overdone his dive towards Onozawa, but when you look at it from that angle, it doesn't look very good for Ross Armour, to be fair. So it sounds like there will be a penalty against that effort from Armour. And Onozawa, those 31-year-old ribs, feeling a little bit tender, I would imagine. So Goromaru with some kicking woes today from the tee. Well, this one is a very easy attempt. Just a few metres outside the left upright for him. Oh! That was so close to being hooked again. He's not happy, but he manages to get it over with his third conversion today. That makes it 36 points to 0, and Japan will come back and have a penalty because of Armour's work there. So Tamura has punting duties in the second half. In fact, he could probably go anywhere from the halfway line. Doesn't need to stay in the centre there, but decides to give himself a challenge. And does it well too, Tamura. Very talented player. Well, he'll be well known to the Hong Kong players. His dad, Makoto, is the coach of the Toyota Shockey Shuttles, and Rowan Barty and Mark Wright for Hong Kong both play for that team, as we see Japan on the attack again. Oh, a steal though for Hong Kong. They may have turned this one over, but Japan just piling in with numbers, so they get the penalty. Kinsey goes in, claims the ball like a hungry man after a pie. So Mark Wright, I thought he'd actually got the turnover there, and if he'd got a bit of help from some of his arriving numbers, they may have got that one back. But Japan just sensing that something was amiss, piling in with all numbers. There he is, Eddie Jones. Doesn't give too much away, does he? Must be a horror to play poker against. Looks like Tamura has really been given the duties of kicking for the line here, after Ono being a little conservative in his technique. Good man to have, good skillful man at number 12 Tamura, as Mochizuki takes down his fifth take at line-out time. Leach this time at the back of the maul positions himself well, stepping over the Hong Kong players. At the back of this maul, just surveying his options. Hong Kong back to 15, of course, but Leach is just going to have to plop himself over the line here. The easiest of tries for Michael Leach. Just letting the men in front of him do all the tough work. The easiest of tries for Michael Leach. His 25th test today. Quickly has become one of the senior players for Japan. Had a great World Cup. Was man of the match against Tonga. Don't know if you'll remember the moment, but at one stage one of the Tongan wingers, I think it was Piutau, taking an intercept, and Leach gave him about a 5-metre start with 80 metres out from the try line and managed to chase him down a wing 3/4. Once he got those big Kiwi Fijian legs pumping. He just tracked him down and got him with about 5 metres to spare. One of the moments of the World Cup for me, and probably the moment that really announced that he would be player of the match for that day. So Goramaru with a chance to get himself to 97 points for this Asian Five Nations tournament, and again not quite with the radar on today. So the score is 41 points to 0 after a try from Michael Leach. Went to high school in Sapporo up north when he was 15 years old, and even admits that his Japanese is a lot better than his English these days, having gone to university and studied in Japanese for 9-10 years now. Went to Tokai University. And Ono takes the ball well. There's a bit of a fight for it as Armour tries to get himself involved at the ruck there. In fact, it was right. And they've turned this one over, Hong Kong too. Good work from them. Lee to new man Glancy. Charles French goes up. French will want to play well today. Just not enough numbers at the breakdown there for Hong Kong, getting harassed and hassled off the ball. So Japan with a real lesson of defensive rucking now. Big ball to Muratilic. Gives it a lovely inside step. There's good support from Makabe. Ono this time to Sasaki. Good tackle from Taute. He's really playing well today, Taute. Good to see. So Hong Kong really out to compete. They may have leaked 2 tries already in the second half, but you just feel it's a lot more competitive at the breakdown now. Kizu, a little knock, maybe some blood there. Takeshi Kizu, he'll want to stay on because his hooking compatriot Ryuhei Arita has been given the start so far this season. And Kizu has been on the bench with a couple of run-ons, but you see there a nasty gash on the left cheek of Takeshi Kizu. Ooh, that is a big one. It's going to require a few stitches, that's for sure, as we see Arita come on. And one of the reasons Arita's probably got the start over Kizu is because of Arita's leadership abilities. He's just a young man at 23 years old. He'll be penciled in as one of the men at the forefront of this Japanese effort in the next couple of years. We've got another replacement. The inside backs, Lee is off, and Alexander comes on. There's Mark Goosen, who comes on flanking for Houston. Goosen for Houston, that's a good one. And also Alex McQueen. So we have a whole rash of replacements here for Hong Kong. Alexander gets to put the ball in. Taute gets it under pressure, but manages again to recover. And the ball shoots out quickly for Alexander. And Glancy gets the ball under pressure as well. Vati goes in to help out. Again, Vati not getting much ball today. And penalised the Hong Kong players. Hands in the ruck. So Japan again will look to keep up the pressure. It's daunting stuff, that's for sure. They certainly play at pace and they're fit. 20 trying to get in the way there. Alexander will be penalised. And here's last warning time for Hong Kong, I think. Last chance saloon at the slowing down game.
Team caution, no.
Well, he's got a postgrad degree in social work. He might fancy the legal game there, trying to launch a defence, but to no avail. So again, Japan will just go to the touch and take a line out of the way. And it's so hard to stop this Japanese effort today. 2 years ago, in the Asian Five Nations game, Hong Kong ended up 94 points to 5 down. And it was almost 100 too. I remember the last couple of minutes of that game. Disallowed try from the Japanese would have got it over to 100. Looks like it could be a bit better today if Hong Kong can keep up this defence. Mochizuki testing it, that's for sure. He's mammoth, Mochizuki. Such a good player. Again, it's Leach this time. Oh, almost at the line there. He may have got over it. Just saw Leach come out with the ball, diving to the ground. He'll go to the assistant referee, I think, here, just to get some advice. And Paul Mackay may have some advice here for him. Knock on. Yeah. Looked like Leach had bust through the maul there. We saw the ball and him head towards the ground.
Red number 5. Red 5. Red number 5.
So it looks like another replacement. Makabe, who's played 5 tests in a row, getting a rest. He's probably been a little subdued today, Makabe. It was awesome last week, scored a try and a load of ball running. So it's time for Shoji Ito to get a chance. Shoji Ito, who played for Rico Black Rams, and some interesting rules in the top league rugby. If a player wants a transfer but doesn't get permission from the club, they have to sit out a season. It's happened a number of times over the years, and once was with Shoji Ito. He had to miss a season before he could transfer to the Kobe Steelers. There's Tate again, proving to be a handful for the Japanese when on the rare occasion Hong Kong get the ball. French unfortunately wasn't expecting that one. Alexander with a step and a pass. McQueen with no room to move. Japan really stifling any chance for Hong Kong. Looking good over the ball to Japan, aren't they, in defence. And it's going to be a hard one to get out of here. Right, goes forward. But at least Hong Kong determined to hold on to the ball, but unfortunately they've lost it. It's Ito with his first chance. Semba! Don't see much of Semba on attack, do we? Hawasa to Ono, who uses a screen there. Mochizuki standing his broad frame in front of the defence, but gets away with it. And Hawasa runs into a lazy runner. So they'll get a penalty here. But instead, Japan, the forwards, have decided to go over themselves. And there's a try. Could be Ito, I think, who's just come onto the field. In fact, it is. Shoji Ito with a try after 2 minutes on the pen. Such a hard one for the referees to see. But you would have seen there Mochizuki just standing in front of Ono in the tacklers. And Ono, well, he didn't get too close to him, I guess. Very difficult, though, for the Hong Kong defence. And here, as the referee was playing advantage, Japan, again, just rolling it over the line ever so easily. Looks like Goromaru's been given an extended chance here to get his kicking right. And this one is very easy, but I'll tell you what, the way he's kicking, again, not the most convincing, but he manages to get this one over. His fourth conversion. Try to Shoji Ito. So we've had 14 minutes of this second half. So it's Yamashita who's coming on, and also Tatekawa, the inside centre for Japan. So 4 games in a row has proven very difficult. Goosen chased well, lost it though on the tackle. Tamura gets the ball to Goromaru. He's so strong. Look at him go! Busting up the middle, Goromaru. And he's away. Where's his support? Oh, that's a brilliant tackle. Goromaru is just it's like having Gavin Hastings at the back. He's a big, strong, bullocking man on defence, makes big tackles, and then just charging through the defence. He really was a star in the first couple of games for Japan. He's just graduated from university, from the Tenri University, and will go to the Kubota Spears for the next top league to join his brother. So Hong Kong getting an opportunity. Free kick, Tate again. Alexander. To Wright, who's having a very good game, right, determined player. Of course, playing in Japanese rugby. We know a few of these players. Vati as well, the shocky shuffle. Showing a bit of strength. That might have been the first ball he's had today, and in fact in 2 weeks, deprived of the ball against Korea 2 weeks ago as well, after scoring 4 tries against the UAE. Bennett, he likes the ball in hand, Bennett. So a good period for Hong Kong. Yamashita penalised there, so Glancy. it inside the 22, and Hong Kong get a chance to get some points on the board. Might be Kurazuru who's just come on the field, judging by his ears, and also a couple more Hong Kong substitutes. Harris for Boland has already spent a bit of time on the paddock after Boland was yellow carded, and also Mike Waller comes on as well for Charles French. French will be disappointed. He was on the Suntory radar last year, French, and just couldn't get an Asian passport to qualify. Has that now, so any Japanese clubs out there looking for a 2-metre lock, French might be a man. So it's a maul, and Ridgway is going to find it very hard to put this one out. Japan clustering around him. Poor old Ridgway. He's given us all in the last 2 or 3 games here for Hong Kong. He's been one of the newcomers to impress, that's for sure, along with Boland in the front row. But Hong Kong, well, it looks like they'll have to accept 3rd place in this tournament unless Korea go down against Kazakhstan later on today in Almaty, which it's always a big assignment going to Almaty. Having to drink the horse's milk and sample the local fare can put you off your game a bit. And Haynes takes the tackle well. Alexander going to the right. Goes to Watson. Clancy to McQueen. Dead end there for McQueen, but he manages to go underneath again. But the ball is stolen, and after McQueen knocks it on, so Japan with a chance to prove what they've got. Tatekawa puts it long down inside the 22. That's a massive pump from Tatekawa. Armour goes back. He's in midfield, so it's a long way to kick it anywhere. Decides to chip over the top into space as well. Onozawa's there, and Armour again goes for Onozawa late. We'll have to look at that later on video. Goromaru goes round Barty. Goromaru so impressive with ball in hand. Beautiful counter-attacking try from Goromaru. So he's got to 100 points in this Asian Five Nations Championship through a try. It's 102 now. As we see here, Armour goes for the chip kick and introduces himself to his friend Hiroki Onozawa again long after the ball's gone. So I'd imagine that Armour, after his knees and then his late tackle, will be spending a bit of time on the sidelines in the next period of rugby. You can take the boy out of Glasgow. Sometimes it's hard to take Glasgow out of the boy. As you see Goromaru here with an effort, he spied a bit of space, and Vati was stepped around. Vati's got some pace, but he just couldn't keep up with the long, loping legs of Goromaru. Still, he'll be looking to work on his kicking, Goromaru, that's for sure. With a try, it takes it over the 50-point mark, 53 points to 0. So he's got 4 from 9 kicks so far today, Goromaru. He won't be happy with that. As Hong Kong restart again. That's a good restart, putting a lot of pressure on Japan, but again, handling woes. This time it's Harris, and Goosen was up there quickly again. Something the Crusaders have done. I've been watching Super Rugby this year, getting the ball up to guys like Kieran Reid, who sprint out of the block so quickly, and you can really get a good chance of regaining possession from any scoring you get. It'll be interesting to see how many teams take that on as we move through the years. Kizu's all patched up, bit of sticky plaster, and away he goes at hooker there. Hawassa, I know the Giants might not have said it, but he was so happy to have Hawassa back from Stade Francais in Paris. Really gives him some polish at the base of the scrum. After losing Tanaka, who's gone to Dunedin to play for Otago at the ITM Cup later this year, along with Shota Horie, another star for Japan. So he's lost 2 of his top players, but very philosophical about it. Good exposure for the young guys. Alexander throws a rubber pass to Glancy, and then that's tidied up by Harris. Come back anyway for a scrum. There's the tough man Kizu. Really, like, he's a big lump of a man, Kizu. So heavier than the starting props. Now Hatakeyama's gone to loose head, and Yamashita is 125 kilos at top. So it's a big front row they've got on at the moment. Alexander to Glancy. Trying a nasty pass to Hayes. He won't be enjoying his first Asian Five Nations start. Hardly had any front foot ball. This time it's Waller. Alexander changes his mind, goes left, right, then takes it himself. Right. He really has been determined today. I've enjoyed the game from Mark Wright, the graduate of the Loughborough University, a famous rugby playing university in England, but bred in Hong Kong, now applying his trade as a professional rugby player in Japan. But he just got the ball away to Armour. And Armour hands off well there, Hirose. Hirose comes back at him, and Goramaru takes him down as well. Again, not releasing the ball carrier, so Wright takes the ball quickly. This is good determined play from Hong Kong. They may have been down at the break 29-0, and really have been playing with some guts in the second half. Tate has been at the forefront of that too. Defensive rucking time from Yamashita though. He puts his massive frame over the top of the ball and drives his legs well. Vati, who seems to have gone to some sort of midfield position. Good work from Vati. Realised there was no support. Flips it up to Haynes, who again, he's a big man, Haynes. He's got a good top upper body strength, but against these full-time professionals from Japan, he's not even making a dent in them. McQueen to Vati again. He's really getting involved. I like that from Ryan Vati. Tate, captain. Leach again. It's a good name for him. He really gets over the top of the ball and sucks onto it, Leach. Oh, there's some disorganisation here, but it was a Japanese hand on the ball, so we'll come back for a Hong Kong scrum. Well, it's good to see Hong Kong getting some time with the ball. Haven't really fired a shot today, no points on the board. After 45-22 last year, there was a real expectation this year they could give a new look Japan a run for their money, but Japan have had these 3 games before this to really get some teamwork and cohesion going, as we see Arita come on for Kizu and Nagatomo on the field as well outside back. So I think we might have flushed all the substitutes on the field with 15 minutes to play. There's Kizu, good day at the office for him, and Semba gets a rest as well for Nagatomo. Looks like Goramaru has gone into outside centre, which is interesting because he certainly has the physique to compete well there. And Nagatomo back to fullback. There's Jack Bennett there facing Hatakeyama. Awasa over Tate there very quickly, giving him no room to move, but Tate holds on to the ball and determinedly marches his way forward. Mochizuki getting in the way, slowing it down. Harris, who's built very low to the ground, does well. There's a cluster of players here for Hong Kong, but not too much organisation. Glancy gets it to Vati. Hasn't he stepped up in the last 5 minutes, Ryan Vati? Good to see. It's his 30th international today. Very proud of the fact that when you play in Hong Kong, you don't get too many test matches like the big boys, so 30 certainly puts him in the veteran category. Ryan Vati, congratulations to him. Waller. And Mochizuki will have to watch himself here. A little slow and ponderous and moving away from the tackled area. Bennett has got good high hands on him for a prop. This time it's McQueen. Gives it to Haynes. Haynes is wrapped up well again. McQueen, good work from him in support. Oh, again, Japan just come in with a defensive ruck. Look at Yamashita, he's a big unit. But again, Hong Kong have the ball, and they go blindside this time through Bennett. It's hard to find a way through this defence, though, isn't it? Armour again. Certainly took a dose of angry pills today, Ross Armour. Glancy gets caught behind the advantage line, and Japan are just coming in wave after wave of pressure on attack and defence. All goes well for them in this Pacific Nations Cup that's coming up, taking on the might of Tonga, Samoa, Fiji. They're going to have to be right on their game, and with virtually an all-Japanese lineup, a number of fears that they might not have that physical capability. And this time Armour gets a bit of hanky-panky after the ball too, and well, yeah, Leach has decided to give him some of his own medicine there. And Leach will have to retain his composure here.
Not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, the referee, we'll take a look and see what happened here. Mackay's on as well.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, thanks. Unnecessary, yeah. Okay, good.
Well, as a rugby player, you can understand why Michael Leach is a little frustrated at Ross Armour. He's been able to get away with some off-the-ball hanky-panky. And that's what happens sometimes when the referees aren't keeping an eye on it. Players take justice into their own hands, and so he's really just braced himself after the kick. Armour not really moving off his mark, and Armour running into him, but there you go. Ross Armour seems to have been getting away with a lot today. This time it's Takigawa, showing his strength there, Takigawa. The ball pops out on the Hong Kong side though, illegally. And they'll go back 10 metres too. Someone in the Hong Kong team not happy with it. The referee Azar
just break it off the play there.
will have to keep his eye out here. There's a few frustrated players on both teams. It's great to see a refereeing team from Singapore come up and referee such a big clash. Singapore, unfortunately, a soft landing down into Division 2 now with their losses to the Division 1 playoff to Chinese Taipei, Philippines and Sri Lanka. But I've been impressed with referee Azo. He's kept up the pace of the play so well. You can see this intensity in Singapore in club rugby, that's for sure. He is a running addict and does the triathlon, so certainly has fitness under control. Has got Amaru again. Goes forward to Hawasa. Hitoshi Ono, who's been full of running today as well. Ito, who's already scored a try. Hawasa goes right this time. Loads of numbers for Takigawa. It's Mochizuki. Breaks down there in midfield, but Goromaru has such great strength. Surges forward. And they're only 6 or 7 metres out. Takigawa this time. He's really enjoyed his time on the bench. Full of energy today, full of running. Sasaki, who gets well tackled by Gusen. Hawasa this time to Tamura. Ito again, who may play at lock, but has spent a lot of time at loose forward as well, Ito. And that's good work there from, I think it's Mark Gusen, over the top of the ball. Tamura just got caught, a little isolated. Watch Gusen there, just bang. Let his teammates make the tackle and then right over the top of the ball. Good number 7 play from Mark Gusen, born in South Africa. They had a nasty leg break about 3 years ago in club rugby, Mark Gusen, but it seems to have come back. There's Mike Glancy carving off a bit of property, and we still have some replacements. Kuazuru coming on for Ono. Might see a bit of a shuffle here. He's come on at lock. Taps on the backside and says, time for you to take a break. And Jun Fuji played the first 3 test matches, but lost his place to Hawasa today. Unfortunately for Paris. So Japan will take the scrum, 15 in. Couldn't hear the call, unfortunately. It's such a beautiful day today in Japan. I know they've had a chilly spring, but the last couple of days have been just wonderful. Announcing the arrival of summer, mid-20s, lovely breeze, beautiful clear sky. Yes, more to play a game of rugby. Fuji this time. And it's a Sasaki who's gone to the back of the scrum in Leach's absence. Good work again from Kusin. Hong Kong have the luxury of having some real depth at loose forward. Kusin coming off the bench today. Ridgway goes around the side of this ruck. Gets those legs pumping. A man from Whaley Bridge in the Peak District. Out to Glancy. This time it's McQueen who half break for him, but he just can't hold on to it, so it's Onizawa. That lovely drifting running style coming back. Nagatomo knocks it on. Suntory Sungoliath, teammates there, Onizawa, and of course their ex-coach Eddie Jones. The Suntory team having an amazing season last year, winning the top league and then the All Japan Championship, losing just one game during the season, and that was to Toshiba. Really overcoming any competition, and the style of play that Japan are playing is very closely aligned to Suntory. Of course, Suntory having the benefit of a lot of overseas players. This year they had Ferry Dupree, George Smith, Danny Rousseau playing on the team, Todd Clever, Peter Hewitt. Next year it'll be slightly different. They're only allowed 2 foreign players on at once, so it'll be interesting to see who gets a start. Certainly a lot of money invested from Suntory in their club team, and it has worked for them. They've got a lot of local players as well, and a lot of the local players are doing so much. Look at Iwasa. He had George Gregan for a season, and then Ferry Dupree competing against him for a starting spot, and Iwasa really holding his own. But, great mentoring system there with the foreign players. Kusin again gets into the action. He's added some real spice, hasn't he, since he's come on. Alexander, a lot of pressure, but manages to retain his composure. Tries to get the ball around the backside of the Japanese player. Unfortunately, Mochizuki's rear end was just a little bit too big for him to get his arm around. So Japan have the ball now. Tatagawa to Tamura. Interesting, Tatagawa taking the first receiver job instead of Tamura when Ono went off. Tatagawa again, running the moves inside to Tamura again. Bit of a lolly scramble there, so we're playing advantage to Hong Kong. Mark Wright. Now it's Alexander. Both Towson gets the ball and tackles at the same time. Bennett. I'm impressed with Jack Bennett when he gets his hands on the ball. Does the work in the tight, but also impresses. And here's Vaki round the outside of Tamura. This is good pace for the young man. Just a little bit too much showtime in that pass. So the ball's gone astray, but Yukam Shing has gone in, effected a good tackle. So Japan have just slowed down here. That was good pace from Vati. Just sprinting around the outside of Tamura. Tamura finds himself at the base of this ruck. Gives it to Ito. Tamura again at scrum half. I don't know where Fuji's gone. Here he is, slowly ambling to this ruck. And gets organised, although Japan have no numbers, no width on the game. They look instead to Sasaki, who's just got a great motor on him. Sasaki's everywhere. And last week, that's where he really came into the game. Last 5 or 6 minutes when everybody... And here's Hirose, the captain. He's found some space as well. Again, good scrambling back in defence for Hong Kong. But Japan now on attack. It goes very quickly, doesn't it? He's taking a lovely ball. Tatagawa. Oh, it's nudged down there from Salom. He's knocked it on. So he was able, with 3 Japanese players against him, to just diffuse that situation. But we see here Hirose running into some big real estate. Alexander was the man who went back. Good defence from Alexander. Determined run. You could see him, his arms out, ready to grab the hits of Hirose as soon as he'd made up that ground. And, well, Yukam Shing, if he hadn't got his hand in there, there was a certain try. So we just see the Japanese effort just dwindling. They've obviously got 53 points on the board. The last 6 or 7 minutes with all the substitutes, look, their rhythm has gone out of the game. Will that concern Eddie Jones? Probably. You'd love to see more continuity, I think, with those players coming in off the bench. And I'm sure that's what the leaders of the team are talking about now. Hirose, Takayama in the forward pack there. It's an interesting centres pairing now, though, or in fact the inside backs. You look at Takigawa, who's come on, Tamura, who's consistently been there, and then Goromaru at outside centre. So they probably haven't ran much together, I would imagine, in training in that formation. You see there, an interesting one at the back, but all the outside backs just back at a level beyond Tamura. There'll be some interesting lines being run at the end of the scrum. Let's see where Goromaru goes. I fancy he might take an inside ball off Tamura, but the scrum's gone awry. Sasaki, of course, one man down Japan. Good pressure from Tauta. He slowed it down. This time it's Arita who finds himself at the back of the ruck. Fuji gets involved with the scrapping stuff. Mochizuki has been a little quieter in the second half, but again finds the energy to explode through. Fuji this time to Takigawa. Another wave. Arita. Sasaki again. He's so fit. Look at him go. Fuji, they'll probe this blind side again. Fuji to Takigawa. Big screen of players in front of Hong Kong again. Tamura. Support is slow, but this time it's out to Takigawa. Gets up from the tackle. Goes forward. 5 metres out now. Determined stuff from Takigawa. Breaks down though. This time it's Kurizuru. Fuji again. Promising here from Tamura. Gets it to Takayama. The big man is over. Kensuke Takayama. 12th try in Test rugby. Determined effort from him. One of the crowd favourites here, Takayama. Latest rugby at Suntory, the champions as well. And he's always had try-scoring instincts, the big man. How are you going to stop that? 3 metres out. So versatile too, making a move from tight head during the game to loose head. We saw him start a game at loose head against the UAE 2 weeks ago when Suboi made his debut. Tight head prop. So good to have that versatility as well. So Goromaru gets another conversion after the Takayama try. The score is 60 points to 0. Only have a few minutes left on the clock. 3 or 4 minutes. Leach is back. And Hong Kong will be disappointed they haven't put points on the board. And really, I think they would have fancied having a home game against Japan this year, but it wasn't to be, and Japan have really got up to speed so quickly. If you look at the way they started the season, Kazakhstan 87-0, UAE 106-3, those cakewalks gave them time to get their combinations together. Sasaki gets caught in the tackle that time. Now we have to release it. Takigawa really has played well at standoff. There were a few eyebrows raised when Takigawa was told he would fill in at standoff before Tamura. But he's young and full of potential, you can see that. Just coming out of university, Leach with his first touch of the ball since coming off his yellow card. Nagatomo out to Onizawa, who gets planted on his backside by Yu Kam-shing. Well, Yu Kam-shing hasn't had the ball very often today, but his defence has been superb. Take a look here. Again, Salum had 3 or 4 men to contend with. He pushed the ball out to Onizawa, and great grimace there from Onizawa as he hits the ground. Not easy at 31 years old sometimes to get your body going. Japan here on attack again. Just a couple of minutes to go of this game. Leach again. Good quick ball. Tatikawa. Inside ball to Goromaru. I think that might have been the move they were trying to work earlier. Fuji fakes a couple of times, but he takes the tackle himself. This time it's Leach. Uezuru is in support. Oh, straight up the top goes Arita. The direct route for Ryuhei Arita. The substitute hooker goes over for a try. And, one of the players he admires, Ryuhei Arita, is Kevin Mialamu, and that was a Mialamu-esque try, wasn't it? At the base of the ruck, spotting the gap, pin your ears back, keep your body low, run hard and you're over. Good work there from Arita. Played at number 8 for all of his junior rugby, captained the Japanese under-20 team at number 8. And just a little small, they thought, for international rugby there, so made a move to hook it during university. And that's the end of the game, a little early perhaps than we were expecting, with a final scoreline of 67 points to 0. Tries galore for Japan. And a great display in front of their home fans to seal this HSBC Asian Five Nations Championship for the 5th time in a row. 20 games, 20 bonus point victories,